Good morning, students. In the last class, we have read about the three ranges of Himalayas. Today, we will read about the importance of Himalayas and the life of people in the mountain areas. So, let us read the importance of Himalayan mountains. The Himalayas act like a wall on our northern borders and protect our country from enemies. They protect us from the cold winds coming from the north. They check the monsoon winds coming from the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal and thus provide heavy rainfall. The forests in Himalayan region are home to several wild animals. The forests provide us with timber and firewood. Many rivers originate from the glaciers in the mountains. Dams, which are built across these rivers, help in producing electricity. So, children, how does Himalayan mountain help us? So, Himalayas are very important for our country. First, it acts like a wall. So, it acts like a wall and protects our country from the enemies. Second, it protects us from the very cold winds that blows from the north direction. Third, when the monsoon winds come from Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, they strike against the Himalayan mountains and bring rainfall in our country. Fourth, the thick forests in the Himalayan mountains are home to many wild animals. Fifth, the forest also provide us with timber and firewood. So, the forest is providing us with timber. Timber means wood. And from that wood, furnitures are made. Then from the wood, the people over there, they cook their food. So, for that also, the Himalayan mountains are important. Then sixth, we have already learned that many rivers begin from the glaciers that are on the mountains. So, the rivers originate from these glaciers which are there on the northern mountains. Then seventh, many dams are made on these rivers that provide hydroelectricity in nearby places. Hydroelectricity means, children, electricity which is generated through water, that is hydroelectricity. So dams are built across these rivers which come down from the northern mountains, and it also helps in producing electricity to the nearby areas. Now children, some new terms are given over here. Let us read them. Glacier, it means river of ice that moves slowly. Then pass, it means natural but narrow path between two mountains. Then mountain ranges means a chain of mountains. And perennial means lasting for a long time throughout the year. So children, you will write down these new terms in your copies and you will learn it also. Now let us come to match the column. So first is highest peak in India. So highest peak in India, children, it is Kanchenjunga. Then lowest range in Himalayas, that is Shivalik. Then origin of river Ganga is Gangotri, and 8,848 meters is Mount Everest. So children, please match the answers accordingly. Now we will move to our next topic, which is life of people in the northern mountains. So the northern mountains run through Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, West Bengal, northern part only, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram and Tripura. Then high altitude of the northern mountains are out of reach. Thus, this region is sparsely populated. The general climate is cool in summer and very cold in winter season. So children, northern mountain starts from Jammu and Kashmir in the north to Arunachal Pradesh in the northeast. So, northern mountain passes through many states in India, like through Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, then northern parts of West Bengal, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, and Tripura. So, northern mountain passes through all these states. Now, children, the places that are situated extreme north or at high altitude means places that are located at great height. All those places, children, are sparsely populated. Sparsely populated means very less people or very few people live in these areas. And why very few people live in these areas? Children, it is because the climate is very cold in such places. Even in the summers, children, the climate is cold. And during winter season, the climate becomes very cold. That is why very few people live in these areas. Now we will read about Jammu and Kashmir. So Jammu and Kashmir is well known for its beauty. Tourists come from all parts of the world. The valley of Kashmir is known as paradise on earth. It is surrounded by snow-covered mountains. The Dal and Vular are beautiful lakes in valley. There are houseboats used as hotels and shikaras used for boating and also as floating shops. So children, we all know that Jammu and Kashmir is a union territory now and it is a very beautiful place. So tourists from all over the world come to visit this place. Now children, the Valley of Kashmir, and in Hindi Valley of Kashmir is known as Kashmir ki Ghati. So the Valley of Kashmir is also known as paradise on earth. Paradise means Jannat. So Valley of Kashmir is also known as paradise on earth and it is surrounded by snow covered mountains. So this Valley of Kashmir is surrounded by snow covered mountains. Now children, there are two very beautiful lakes in this valley, the Dal and Vular Lake. So these are two very famous lakes and children, on these lakes you will find houseboats that are used as hotels by the tourists. So the tourists live in these houseboats and shikaras. What are shikaras, children? Shikaras are also wooden boats which are used for boating also and it is also used as floating shops. So there are shops on these shikaras which are selling flowers and other such items. Now let us read the next paragraph. Srinagar is the capital, summer capital and Jammu is the winter capital of the state. The main tourist centers are Vaishno Devi Temple, Amarnath Caves, Gulmarg, Pahalgam, Anantnag, etc. The people mostly speak Kashmiri, Ladakhi, Dogri and Urdu languages. Most of the people are Muslims, Hindus and Buddhists. So children, the summer capital of Jammu and Kashmir is Srinagar and the winter capital of the state is Jammu. Now children, there are many famous tourist spots in Jammu and Kashmir like Vaishno Devi Temple, Amarnath Caves, Gulmarg, Pahalgam and Anantnag. So all these are tourist places in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, the languages which are spoken by the people over here are Kashmiri, Ladakhi, Dogri and Urdu. All these are languages which are spoken by people of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, people here are mostly Muslims, Hindus and Buddhists. So these are the religions which are followed by the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Then the traditional loose kurta worn by men and women in Kashmir is called firan. To remain warm in winters, people in Kashmir keep an earthen pot with burning coal, known as a kangri, beneath their firan. They like to drink kahwa, a special type of Kashmiri tea. The main festivals celebrated in the state are Eid and Shivratri. So, children, when we talk about traditional clothes of Jammu and Kashmir, both men and women they wear loose kurtas, which are known as firan. And children, to keep themselves warm in winters, people keep an earthen pot. Earthen pot means mitti ke ghade. So the people they keep an earthen pot with burning coal. Coal is known as koila in Hindi. So they burn coal on an earthen pot which is known as kangri, and they keep it beneath their firan to keep themselves warm. Now children, people in Jammu and Kashmir like to drink kava, which is Kashmiri tea, and they love drinking kava. Now, festivals. Festivals celebrated by people over here are Eid and Shivratri. Now, coming to the last paragraph. Farming is the main occupation in the summer season. The main crops grown are rice, maize, rajma, fruits, vegetables, and saffron. In the cold winter season, people have to stay indoors and make handicrafts from wood and paper mache. They also weave carpets and make woolen and pashmina shawls. Now, children, during summertime, the people of Jammu and Kashmir practice farming. So they grow different types of crops, like they grow rice, maize, rajma. They also grow fruits, vegetable, and saffron. But children, during winters, since it becomes very cold, so they generally stay inside their houses and make handicrafts. Now, what do you mean by handicraft, children? Craft items which are made from hand of people are known as handicrafts. So, children, during winters, people of Jammu and Kashmir make handicraft items from wood and paper mache, and then they also make carpets and as well as woolen and pashmina shawl. Now children, we are coming across one term over here which is paper mache. Paper mache means, children, craft items which are made from paper. So paper mache is a technique of making craft items from paper. So handicraft from wood also and from paper also are made by the people of Jammu and Kashmir during the winter time. So children, with this we have completed with today's portion. So please revise the portion that we have done today, and in case of any doubt, please message me on Campus Care. Till then children, please take care of yourself. I will see you in the next class. Thank you children.